I would prefer to hear them in my room before I give them, 2 thumbs up. So right now we get 1 thumbs up. Well, Aaron should be around here.
Hey, let's kill this interview. This isn't supposed to be how it goes.
What is up, everybody? Hope you're having a great day. I'm here at AXPONA 2024 with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Andrew Jones, and we're talking about the SourcePoint 888. I liked what I heard, so why don't you tell everybody else about these speakers?
So as you know, we started off with the SourcePoint 10, and the idea behind that was to go retro and big boxes like we used to, and big drivers. Right. And so that was my opportunity to rethink what I feel about how I do concentric drivers. I wasn't doing 2 ways, I was doing 3 ways because I don't want the cone to move too much. But if I've got a 10-inch, it doesn't move that much. So I can do a 10-inch concentric. Or that was the thought. So that led to the development of the 10. But people would walk in and they go,
they're huge.
That was bigger than I thought.
Yeah,
how big do you think a 10-inch driver in a box is going to be?
Right.
So, and it was deliberate. Go back to those days for that niche market, let's say. But nonetheless, we decided, okay, maybe we should do a smaller one. And that's now going back towards what I said I wouldn't do because I'm starting to make it smaller again as a 2-way concentric. But by not having as much bass extension and controlling how I've tuned it, then it still doesn't move too much because you're not getting quite as much deep bass out of it. So I thought, okay, that's an acceptable compromise. So that's the 10 and the 8. And so I thought, well, what's next? And it seemed obvious to everybody, including us, that it should be a tower speaker.
I'm going to cut you off real quick here because you mentioned something about Aaron yesterday.
That was so funny, yeah. Well, lots of people have been speculating, and Erin was kind of speculating what would I do next.
He said something about the 8s. The 8s needed what?
More bass,
Right.
And it's funny, he's always saying, well, if you want real bass, I'm going, but no bookshelf has real bass in that respect.
Sure.
It's limited to how low it can go down. So it's partly, well, I'll show him. I'll show everybody.
You're like, hold my beer. Right?
Yeah. So we're going to do a tower. So that way, it's not going to be just slap that 8-inch driver in a bigger box. Because yes, it would go down lower, but then it's going to start moving too much. So it seemed obvious it's going to be a 3-way.
Okay.
So take the exact driver from SourcePoint 8, put it in a box in its own enclosure within.
Okay, so it's got its own enclosure.
So it's all subdivided.
Okay, got it.
And then sort of take the same crossover, but just add a high pass to roll it off below 130, 150 hertz region, and add bass drivers. And not just one, because then you're just replacing one 8 with another, even though it's longer throw and more capable. It's not enough. If I'm going to bother enjoy making a 10-inch, making a tower, then I might as well go all the way.
Yeah.
So now that's 2 bass drivers, and what are they going to be? Well, since I've been playing with that twin magnet drive system for the concentric driver, where I use 2 Neos in opposition, and they drive flux both through the bass coil and through the tweeter coil, I thought, what can I do that's interesting and different for the woofer? And on a basic level, when you're trying to get a lot of movement from a woofer, you've got 2 choices: a very long coil with a short magnet gap. That's the standard approach.
That's the standard, okay.
Or you flip them,
and
you do underhung, short coil, long gap. And that's what I always used to do with all the TAD drivers. I thought, I want to go back to getting that kind of capability. Because even if you get the flux constant in a gap, if it's a short gap and a long coil, the force is not constant anywhere because you're picking up fringe flux. When you reverse it, both the field and the force is constant with movement. And there can be a slight variation, but by having 2 magnets in opposition, it kind of linearizes the field through that gap.
So a little bit more predictable.
Yeah, and it also cancels out some of the modulation effects when the coil's field is trying to modulate the magnet, because it's working in different directions for the 2 magnets. Difficult to put together, but...
For you, easy, right. For you, it's easy, right.
So that's what I've developed for that.
Okay.
And so each bass driver is in its own chamber, and then the mid-range is in its own chamber. And it's very convoluted to do that and get equal volumes for the two bass drivers. So it's quite complex bracing inside to kind of cut off and define those different areas. But it means the cabinet's even stronger. And of course, it's still got the 1.5 inch thick front baffle. And then huge crossover, two crossover boards, one for the bass, one for the mid-range tweeter, and it's about that
there's
big.
no port at all. These are all like...
No, they are ported.
They are ported,
Yes.
but each driver has its own chamber.
Yes.
Got it.
Its own driver, chamber, port, double it, and that's what you got.
Okay, great. Great. And you guys are, compared to a lot of stuff I've seen at the show, pretty great for price.
Yes.
Coming in at $5,000 a pair.
5,000 a pair.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when are these available?
They'll be in our house middle of next month.
Middle of next.
Yes.
In your house. So
In
does
our-
that,
no,
we have
in-
to, we have
no,
to
in
go
our- I've
to
already
your
got them in
house
my house.
to pick them up.
These are mine. I'm
Man,
in
it's a field trip.
the
You gotta-
warehouse.
You gotta go to his house to pick them up. Oh, in all joking aside, I think they sound great. I do. I would prefer to hear them in my room before I give them, 2 thumbs up. So right now we get 1 thumbs up. Well, Aaron should be around here.
Hey, let's kill this interview. This isn't supposed to be how it goes.
Oh man. Yeah, but I can't wait to hear this in my room. These guys in my room, and I know Aaron's going to come in today and check them out as well.
Yeah.
Yes, because he's going to be like, I think the subwoofer's back there. So.
Well, Neil Gaider came and had a sort of a sneak listen at my office. And he said, because he'd been writing the SourcePoint 8 review, and he said, yeah, we're all guessing what comes next. And he said, my guess is a tower. And he said, maybe I shouldn't put that in the review right now. I said, that was your independent guess. Anyone can...
So then from here, we're going to go with a bigger tower, right? Is that
Well, that was one of the choices. Given that we've got the 10 and the 8, should we do an 8 tower or a 10 tower, right?
10 tower.
But
You're giving it away.
No, I mean, if we'd have done a 10 tower, already the 10 was big. The 10 tower would have been huge. And is that the right market to go for?
I see where you're going. Ladies and gentlemen, look for the 12 tower from MoFi and Andrew Jones. Andrew, I don't want to take up more of your time. There's a bunch of people outside waiting to get in here. So thank you very much. And you guys, if you haven't seen or heard, the SourcePoint 888, definitely check it out wherever you can, but not at his house. That's closed off, all right? More from AXPONA. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. 2, and sync.
Show off the flutter echo, won't you?
We need to do some.
But that's why you sit down to listen, because, look, not there.
Okay, up here. Okay. We'll just cut all that out.